Tonight, investigations are underway as a skeleton is discovered in scrubland near Port Lincoln, and the opening of new learning centres at 2 Whyalla primary schools.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with Casey Treelaw begins now.
Good evening. Port Lincoln police officers are investigating the discovery of a skeleton in scrubland off Western Approach Road. The remains were found by 2 men who reported the finding on Wednesday morning. Police say the matter is not considered suspicious and are investigating to determine if the remains are those of a man who went missing in 1999. Forensic teams have attended the area and a report will be prepared for the coroner. Meanwhile, police say information provided to Crime Stoppers last month may help solve the murder of Whyalla man Peter Seaford. An unidentified person made contact via the website on February 17. Police say the information provided suggested they had knowledge related to the inquiry. Mr Seaford was murdered in his Essington Lewis Avenue flat in 1989, with the takings from the service station he owned also stolen. It's been the subject of several reviews, with recent DNA testing providing new leads. A Port Lincoln landlord risks losing her property after it was trashed and abandoned by tenants this week. The single mother is now facing months of work and a massive clean-up to try and restore her house.
It's every landlord's worst nightmare.
The smell is unbelievable.
Kirsty Parker finding her home trashed and abandoned, leftover food scattered along the floor, furniture stained and holes in the wall.
Once again, these are new carpets in these rooms too. The state of the mattresses they slept on.
The 3.5-bedroom home was rented out by a mother and her 4 children.
One of the rooms, the walls are screwed, they'll all need to be repainted and the place will need to be sanitised.
The family abandoning the house over the long weekend.
Absolutely heartbreaking. I put all my blood, sweat and tears into this place. I renovated it. I had this place absolutely pristine when I bought it.
Well, the stench is unbearable. Kirsty has already spent a week cleaning the property, but says it will most likely be months until it's safe to live in again. She's fearful she may even lose the house.
I'm only insured for the building only, that the carpets may not even be covered with my insurance. So that's the nightmare I'm going through with them at the moment.
Kirsty is holding a working bee tomorrow to try and remove some of the mess. If anyone is interested, you can contact her on Facebook. Nathan Rector, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Drug and alcohol treatment services in Port Augusta and Port Pirie have been boosted by a federal funding grant of more than $4 million. The funds will be spread across a number of services targeting substance abuse, particularly focusing on counselling, detox and residential rehabilitation. The government says this will be a step towards repairing communities dealing with the misuse of drugs and alcohol. 2 Whyalla primary schools have officially opened new science and technology hubs this morning. The schools aim to take the subjects out of the textbooks and into a more practical STEM learning environment.
These new buildings are full of complex technology, but scissors were what politicians were struggling to use this morning. Ribbons were cut at 2 schools, opening new science and technology facilities, designed to make the subjects engaging to younger students.
Really opened up the learning for the children. They can take more ownership of their learning.
They don't realise that they're learning something. They are learning how to problem solve and be creative at the same time.
Whyalla Town and Nicholson Avenue primary schools are the beneficiaries. Both have the latest technology, including touchscreens, electrical circuit creators and robotics.
It gives them a chance to invent their own things. They're actually going forward with new ideas and new things, then we're not just telling them.
Education Minister John Gardner says Whyalla's economic future relies on STEM-related industries.
Science, technology, engineering and mathematics, they'll need those skills in a whole range of careers they might have in the future.
And they've been given top marks from those that'll use them.
I'm more of a hands-on learner, so it's better to actually do it.
We have lots of space to do science and we have the computer room. We're not used to having new stuff, so it's nice.
John Hunt, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Meanwhile, the minister also inspected the site of the new Whyalla High School. John Gardner was shown the plot of land that will be transformed into the $100 million high-tech school for years 7 to 12. It'll have a focus of STEM subjects, which will tie in with plans for the regeneration of Whyalla. The minister says he's looking forward to its development.
This school is going to be absolutely state-of-the-art, and when it opens in just under 3 years' time, I think this town and our students are going to see the benefits of that investment.
Mr Gardner also says he's confident the new school will be able to deal with any bullying issues. Independent MP Jeremy Buckingham has been campaigning for his re-election in Broken Hill today with an unusual prop. The long-time water activist is encouraging locals to vote for his group on the big ballot paper.
A for effort, L for re-election.
It's about raising awareness about the issues, saving the Darling River, acting on climate change, providing proper services for people in regional and rural New South Wales.
Jeremy Buckingham has been one of the major politicians campaigning to save the Darling River and Menindee Lakes. On a number of occasions he's brought up the topic in the New South Wales Legislative Council, also known as the Upper House. As the state election gets closer, he's hoping to retain his seat in the council. Using a giant green L, Mr Buckingham and those on his ticket are encouraging locals to vote for their group on the big ballot paper.
Making sure people look for Group L, make sure that they put someone who's going to stand up for the Far West, stand up on these key issues back into Macquarie Street.
He needs to be returned in the upper house where he belongs, and I would dearly love to help him with the work that he's doing.
Also on Mr Buckingham's ticket are Broken Hill's Evelyn Kennedy and Darling River Action Group member Mark Hutton. Pre-polling has commenced on the city's main street. Patrick Reinke, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Still to come tonight, teachers pushing for parents to encourage reading at home, and we take a look at all the racing action set to get underway this weekend. Hello again. The teaching staff of Jamestown have reached out to the community in an effort to increase the amount of reading students are doing outside of school. Easy access to technology has been attributed to a decrease in children hitting the books.
An information session for parents, education staff are attempting to get reading back into the home.
It's about encouraging parents to be partners with schools so that students have enough opportunity to practice what they learn.
Technological advancements have been partially attributed to the decline in students' interest to read. Kids and young teens now spending up to 40 hours a week in front of phone and computer screens.
It's a challenge for both schools and especially parents with the advent and increase in digital media.
Educators are now asking parents to consider limiting the time their children spend in front of technology.
Teachers are working really hard to try to bring students up to speed.
If you can read a book with them every day, they'll start looking forward to that time with you, because it's really quite special when you can sit down and share that time with them.
Dominic Beaton, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Port Pirie's LGBTIQ+ group is reaching out to residents wanting to hear local stories of success and also hardship. The group will be hosting a community engagement evening on March 20 and is encouraging everyone to come along.
We're really looking to get some solid feedback around what some of the issues are that people are facing. Definitely talk about some of the celebrations.
The group is also encouraging members of the community to offer feedback through an online survey. The forum will be hosted at the Port Pirie Football Club at 6 p.m. Port Lincoln's Uniting Communities has won this year's South Australia and Northern Territory Team Award for their work in aged care services. The team says it's the passion for looking after our most vulnerable that makes it all worth it. Organisers say they aim to keep people at home for as long as they can through support services.
People want to be at home, they want to remain independent, and I think we actually do a really good job supporting them to do that.
I approached Uniting Communities because I felt that they were a very friendly, nice lot of women, and I thought they had a good program.
The award recognises an organisation's work within the community to improve aged care. The team will now go on to the national awards announced in October. Health authorities are urging women in Port Augusta to do their part in the fight against breast cancer by having a mammogram. While screening numbers are at an all-time high, experts want to see new faces through the doors.
Within the walls of this mobile screening unit, the battle against the threat of breast cancer continues.
We go to all the country towns and we screen ladies from 50 to 74 years old.
The van anchors in Port Augusta once every 2 years and invites women to undergo a mammogram.
As we get older, the risk of breast cancer can increase.
The X-ray process compares the woman's images to what they were 2 years ago.
They put their arm up here and then we do another picture here.
And it's a critical step in the early detection of breast cancer.
If we find them early, the treatment is much simpler and the prognosis is much better as well.
Screening numbers in Port Augusta are at an all-time high, including over 100 new women. But health authorities are encouraging even more to step through the doors.
Breast cancer can grow at any stage, so yeah, it's really important to be vigilant and to not put it off.
The van will be in town until March 27, and Breast Screen SA wants to make sure the 3,000 lives claimed by the disease each year isn't a figure that rises. Garth Burley, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
This weekend celebrates the 106th Kimber Cup, an exciting day for racing enthusiasts as the Eyre Peninsula gathers for the premier event. The race attracting some top field runners, while the Fashion on the Field competition is set to showcase the colourful side of the day. All eyes will be on the recent Port Lincoln Cup winner, Lady Conquistador, with punters hoping she'll make a double win. Racing will get underway at the Ravendale Park Racecourse on Sunday. Broken Hill's harness racing season comes to a close tonight with the major Carnival of Cups event. It's the biggest fixture on the local trots calendar, with a number of visiting trainers bringing their horses up for it. 6 races are booked in, with the first to run just after 7 p.m. The Rocky Baker Memorial Pacing Cup will be the night's main race, with $14,000 of prize money on offer. The Carnival of Cups is known as the event that kicks off the St Pat's weekend in the city. Still in Broken Hill, and the final touches have been put on the city's racetrack for the 54th annual St Pat's meeting. Punters and patrons can expect to see plenty of new features to make the race day feel more like a festival.
Marquees, the betting ring, the stables, it's all set up. They're ready to race.
We've introduced so much more. We want to make it a festival, not just a race meeting.
It's one of the biggest days on Broken Hill's calendar. Tomorrow, thousands are expected to walk through the newly rejuvenated track entrance for a day of racing, fashions and the luck of the Irish.
We're lacking in a couple of races, but overall our fields are pretty good. We are happy.
This weekend, St Pat's will see a number of new features and attractions. A new mural will welcome racegoers as well as high-flying banners. The fashions will be hosted by a local drag queen. Live music is penciled in and plenty more.
We're diversifying food. We've put up more shade. We're bringing in other alcohol outlets like a Pim's Marquee. And that already has gone off, very popular with the ladies.
The weather forecast predicts a fine and sunny day, a lot better than last year's 40-degree scorcher. Mr Schmidt hopes to see more than 4,000 people flock through the gates.
Our lawn bar, Wacky's bar, pavilion and our other corporate site are all completely sold out. All the picnic sites are sold out. So all up now, we're just hoping for a great day.
Gates open at 10 o'clock. Patrick Roinke, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us after the break, a preview into this weekend's cricket finals action, and we'll have the weekend weather details with Britt. Welcome back. Central Whyalla and Rupina will face off this weekend for the Whyalla Cricket Premiership. It's Central's 19th grand final in a row. However, they face the team that knows how to beat them on the big stage.
Central's know grand final day all too well. They've made every decider since 2001, but their captain says they never take it for granted.
It's all about, the luck on the day, how it goes. Win, lose or draw, we'll just give it our best and see what happens.
Central's won 3 of their 4 encounters against Rupina this season. Scott's saying the first 30 minutes will be critical, whether they're batting or bowling.
We need to do well, batting, bowling. our batsmen put the runs on the board, or we get out there, put some pressure on.
Rapina won the last encounter and also beat the Roosters in the T20 final. Nathan Van Ekeren says dismissing veterans Scott Collison and Brad Smith early on is their priority.
Put the young blokes under a bit of pressure, which is probably pretty key in any grand final, get on top early.
It's already been a big week for Nathan, named this year's association Best and Fairest. He joins an elite club at his current residence. His landlord is current footy BNF Joe Howard Bristow, while the previous tenant was multiple netball winner Taylor Breen.
Nice to be able to feel like I'm bringing something to the house.
John Hunt, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Time now to hear what the local tipsters are predicting for this weekend's cricket finals action.
Saturday we'll see perennial victors Central Wildlife take on their arch rivals Rapina. Central will be relying on their dominant batsmen Brad Smith, Josh Ackland and Scott Collison to make the bulk of their runs, while they'll be looking for their big fast bowler Daniel Collison and his sidekick Josh Bartell to take the bulk of their wickets. Rapina will be looking for Nathan Van Ekeren to lead from the front, with Greg Phoebe being their dominant batsman for the season. My tip, Central Wildlife.
Welcome to this week's Port Lincoln Cricket Tips. It's preliminary final weekend here and the game's going to be played at Centenary Oval at 12 o'clock. Todd River are going to take on Tasmans. Todd River last week went down to SES after Mitch Dalziel took the incredible figures of 7 for 14 off his 6 overs, but they couldn't get over the line. In Tasman's game, it was an all-round team performance. Going to tip the Tasman boys to get over the line in this one and advance through to another grand final against SES. Thanks for listening to the Port Lincoln Cricket Tips.
And time to take a look at what's happening in the weekend's weather. Here's Britt.
Thanks, Casey. It's been another sunny day across the region. Port Augusta reaching 32 degrees, Whyalla 28, Port Lincoln 24, Broken Hill 29, Port Pirie 31 and Adelaide 27. The high pressure system still keeping skies clear today. It'll move east tomorrow to be centred over the Tasman with a ridge persisting over waters to the south of South Australia. On the waters tomorrow, southeasterly winds at up to 20 knots with seas at 1.5 metres. Sunrise is due at 18 minutes past 7. We've got another clear and sunny day ahead of us. Port Augusta with a top of 35 tomorrow, Whyalla 32, Port Lincoln 28, Coffin Bay 27, Woodner 35, Corn 34, Broken Hill 32, Port Pirie 33, Clare and Cleve both 31, Kadina 32. Sunday is looking much the same with conditions remaining fairly constant Monday and Tuesday. Port Lincoln looking at a top of 27 degrees with a partly cloudy start to next week. Cleve sunny and 31 on Sunday, Woodner 36. Whyalla 32 on Sunday, temperatures creeping up slightly into the new week. Much the same for Port Augusta, 36 on Sunday, Kadina 33. Port Pirie 34 on Sunday, 35 on Monday, Clare 32 degrees on Sunday and Broken Hill 32 on Sunday also, with maximums remaining in the mid-30s to start the week. So Casey, it's looking to be a fine weekend.
Thanks for that, Britt. And that's the local news this Friday evening. Thanks for joining us. I'll have updates later. Until then, enjoy your evening. Good night.